Welcome to Astrology. Today we're going to dive into the chart of Sabrina Ionescu, exploring the astrology. So let's get into it. And of course, I would like to share a quote. If you can shoot, you can shoot. It doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy. I think it just matters the heart you have. Of course, I wanted to share this quote because it just represents a lot of her own work. Not only she's trying to inspire others in the game and the generations to come, but I feel that she is propelling herself forward into what she wants to become later on in the history of basketball, especially women's basketball. Ionescu grew up in California in a Romanian American household. And one interesting fact that I learned from just reading the literature and getting to know her more is that she has a twin brother. His name is Eddie. Played at some level basketball, but I believe it was more collegiate level. At the age of 3, Sabrina picked up her first basketball, and after that, everything was history. She continued to make history as she was selected first overall pick by the New York Liberty in the 2020 WNBA draft. 2022 set the WNBA single season record in three-pointers in the WNBA contest. Even now in 2024, she's really improved her game from last year to now. And this is from experiences that I've seen and noticed from watching, and also from commentaries from people that actually watch the game religiously, I would say, who feel that she's made a great improvement, that she's really put in the work, and it's shown in her gusto to move that ball, that thirst to compete. What I believe drives her to all this passion in the game, this heart, right? We began with the heart, is in middle school. There's a story that the school didn't have enough players to field a girls' team, and the school refused to allow her to play with the boys. So instead, Ionescu responded by recruiting her own girls and creating actually a team for the middle school. I thought that was interesting. It shows her passion. It shows the heart that she shares about the game. And this is going to continue again to show the leadership that she wants to share. In high school, Ionescu was a 4-year varsity basketball letter winner at Miramonte High School in California. She has all this history from that first time that she picked up that ball at age 3 all the way to now in her career. It has been so steady, it has been so long term, it has been so successful, and she continues to prove herself. And we're going to get into her astrology. Some of you might be wondering, well, what's her astrology? How does it all apply to who she is? Ionescu is a Sagittarius, and she has a moon that shares this energy with Pisces and also with Aquarius. Observation I've made from understanding Sabrina's story and her chart is this power and this fulfillment that she gets from the game, that she wants to share herself. She wants to expand the community of basketball, especially when it comes to women's basketball. And this shows up in the ways that she speaks of this love that she has for the game and grow and expand the field of basketball. And it's exactly what she's doing, as she's a pivotal part of the game, of the history of basketball. She also shows a lot of innate abilities for leadership, and even though there might have been some struggles of stepping into a leader, and I think this is where the improvement from 2023 to 2024 happened, where she began to really step into her leadership and wasn't afraid to do. Even watching her latest game, she was with delegating the ball, moving the ball, and this plays a part in her stepping out of this fear of being in her innate gifts of leadership, and she does it with great success, and she will continue. It won't be surprising if later on in her career she does end up being a coach or teaching at some level, because she will do really, really well and succeed, or even develop her own team. One question I had about the WNBA: will it ever grow? Will there ever be like new teams developing? And of course, that's part of the game. That's part of the the industry as there is more money coming in and there's more support that are given to the sport. Concept that I was really seeing again in the literature is this aspect of changing the narrative. And she wants to not only tell the story that she's experienced, maybe some injustice around her being a woman in basketball and playing, and like this quote that I mentioned earlier, where she had to create her own team because she was not allowed to play with the boys. They told her in middle school that she should be playing with dolls instead, and that gusto, that passion that she felt, she went ahead and created her own team. So this is, and she's changing the narrative of how women can play basketball, how can not only on the professional level, but I feel this could be with like starting with middle school, then high school, teaching for other people that are maybe in the sport or interested in the sport, of changing the narrative. How else is she planning to change the narrative? That's a good question to kind of keep in the mind, because with being a Sagittarius sun, she is expanding. This is something that she wants to continue, and it's not for herself. This is like larger view, and she has the power and the support to do that as she more successful within the business. Changing the narrative, she's showing confidence, she's showing growth. And something interesting that came up to apply in 2019, excuse me, during an interview, the player admitted being a natural scorer, which I thought was really witty and real sense of confidence, which again she's stepping more into, and she explains part of her skills that she speaks about playing with boys and older girls. You know, she was younger, she was playing with all these boys and these older girls, but they never wanted to pass the ball to her. And so that is a motivation for her to say, well, now I got to learn rebounds. I need to learn how to get that ball back to me. And this is something she showed so much, such a strong skill set in the latest game that I watched. And as now the championships comes in, and I'm not gonna say if the Liberty is gonna win or not, because it's not for me to say. She shows that the rebounds, she's so many rebounds, so many like it was such a real fantastic animated game. And we'll continue to see her growth. We're going to continue to see her leadership as she has her son in a trine with Saturn. And Saturn, when there's this placement, there is this hard work that happens. Eventually, there is not only monetary success, but this is philosophical success. Will be in the books of history in basketball. She will be spoken about even when time goes. And this is open to her of becoming a coach herself or leading her own team. And that will be interesting to see. It was presented by Shayla and Rose, and I will see you on the next one. Con mucho, mucho sabor, sabor astrology.